Hello and welcome back to the Orlando Adventures podcast. I'm your host Russ, and today I am joined by two more legends. We've got Bethany and Jake, the Tattoed Tourists. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
Very excited.
It is my pleasure. Genuinely, I've just said it before we click record, but I've been looking forward to speaking to both. Like, genuinely, I love your content. I love what both of you are all about. And that's, getting the chance to speak to you both, find out about your trip. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. So,
That'll be good.
I know, we're buzzing to be here, so again, thank you so much
We
for
just
having
like
us on.
we just like talking about Orlando, so
there we go. But, like, this is the space. It is. And
same thing doing Beth said in.
for anyone, I suppose, who might not know who you both are then, who are the Tattoed Tourists? Go on, give us a little brief.
You
So,
and me. I'll do it. So we're obviously Bethany and Jake, married couple from the northeast of England.
Yes.
Been together, I'll get it wrong.
8 or 9 years?
8 or 9 years.
There or thereabouts.
Married for 2.
Nice.
And I think we just love, especially everything Orlando, realistically, don't
Yeah,
we?
definitely.
I would just love documenting where we go, what we do. We just like to do anything, really, don't we? So
I mean, to be fair, like, we're pretty boring people, aren't we?
usually we are, yeah.
We are, but we're just like, just chill,
We
really,
just like to
I
have,
suppose.
we're two people who just enjoy having a laugh,
Aye.
and we just like to I live our life, really. So
That's the way, doing it. And that and Orlando goes hand in hand with just like, let's just go and have fun. Like, life's too short to not just.
That's one thing that we massively live by, isn't it? Like,
100%.
life is too short, no matter which way that you look at it. And I think you might as well have a laugh, whilst you're doing everything.
I like to just be a big kid, me. So anything, just
Yeah.
do anything, me. If I can go down a slide, I'll go down a slide. Like,
we're very childish.
Yeah, very childish.
Here for it, 100%. And I suppose, what kind of made you start the Instagram? Because Instagram came first, didn't it? So what was the motivator to go, let's document it?
So with the Instagram, like, Jake's been badgering me for years to do it, and I was dead scared. Like, I didn't want my face out there on the internet, and I was like, I don't want to do it. We'll put it off. And then we came back off our last trip, hadn't we? And prior to going on our last trip in November, Jake had said, look, can we at least try to blog? Because I know you like to write and stuff. Would you be happy to do that? And I was like, yeah, go on, we'll give that a go. And then he was like, well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have an Instagram. So I was like, oh, you sneaky so-and-so. So that's kind of where that is started from. But I suppose you had a few thoughts of why you'd like to start it, didn't you?
I think for us, it started on like things like It's Orlando Time and stuff like that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of, as Beth said, I thought, well, we may as well do an Instagram, you know what I mean? There's no harm in doing it.
Yeah.
And then it just went from there. We started obviously blogging, doing weekly posts about like day 1, day 2, day 3, etc. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, really. And we thought, obviously, that for our trip just gone, we thought, why not try the vlogging as well?
Yeah. That's a different step, though, isn't it? That is
massively.
100%.
Like, we'd said we might as well give it a go. And we at first I said I didn't want to actually put it on YouTube, but we thought it was just going to be for our own daft little memories, because we're pretty close with our family, and we always go for Sunday's lunch. And we said, oh, we can just show them a bit like around Florida and stuff. We thought that'd be like great. And then the more we kind of got into it, especially with doing the blogging side, I was like, maybe we should just do it. Like, it'll be a laugh. So, and then,
here we are.
I'll speak for a lot of people. I'm so glad you did. Genuinely, and I think this is it. And I say this to a lot of people, but like, when you take that jump to go, right, let's put ourselves out there and let's do a vlog. People get to know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There is no doubt. Like, people will be watching you and they'll be loving your content because you're so genuine, and that's what it's about, isn't it?
Mad though, isn't it? Like, it's this little community, like, that we found ourselves. We're so lucky to now be a part of. Like, it is absolutely crazy. It's blown my mind.
Yeah, it is absolutely. I think when, like, especially when you have people saying like, oh, I've been waiting for this video or this post. So what do you mean you've been waiting for me? Like, There's not a chance that happens. Like, no one.
No, we just sat there in our jammies, just like having a kebab or something, and people are messaging saying, "Can't wait for your vlog to come out." And we're like, nah, like it's just us. Like it just doesn't seem real that like people put us on the telly. Like that's mad.
But it's cool, and it's cool. And I think it's like you said about the community, and I always rave about it. But like everyone gets behind everyone.
Oh,
and they're so up for it. So up for seeing other people having a great time and enjoying other people's trip. When everyone gets invested in each other, I mean, it's not like when you're not on a trip and you can live through someone else's trip, especially, it's just amazing.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, that's what helps a lot as well, isn't it? When you're like kind of if you've got a break between trips, but then someone else goes in the meantime, you're like, oh right, okay, technically I'm not going, but
you're living like vicariously through them.
Yeah, through them. So that's what I love. I love that.
Yeah, 100%. Did you have any kind of inspiration for you to actually start like vlogging yourself? Any other kind of like YouTube video?
You know what? I mean, for me, I've always been a fan of vlogs in general. Like I used to all the old school, like when a lot of people might not know about this, but like FaZe Clan and stuff like the gaming communities, they used to do vlogs, and then I just used to love them. I used to like enjoy seeing people's lives. But before we went away, we used to watch a lot of like Tim Tracker, Night Strider, the obvious ones. And in terms of UK, the only people really we watched was Sam and Kira.
Yeah.
I
think the main reason they live not too far from us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that local. I don't know.
You have that local connection. I mean, you'll find that. Yeah, absolutely. And you have like a lot of connections with people who are also in this space. But then when you know somebody and they're literally like 20 minutes down the road from you, and you hear that familiar twang, and you get the humor a little bit more and stuff, and you're like, oh my God, you're liking yourselves to them, don't you? Because you're just so close. So we used to obviously watch them quite a lot, and then I never forget the first day that they followed us.
Yeah, when they followed us on Instagram, I have a fangirl
them. I was like, oh my God, Sam and Kira started following us. We're just like,
they're brilliant. They really are. Like banging vlogs. They're a brilliant couple as well.
Oh yeah,
absolutely fun. Yeah,
love that. There's loads of different other creators that we've now started to watch, like such as like Soren with Sam.
Yeah,
absolutely. I think he's sound.
He's just one of the most canny people you'll ever speak to.
Just lush, man. Like he's just
a good man,
nicest guy like ever. But it's just lovely. It's so canny. But I definitely think for us it was Sam and Kira that give us a massive push because we were like, oh, we can do it.
Why not? How did you? I suppose getting into that. How did you find actually picking that camera up for the first time? Was it weird?
Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying for me.
You know what, right? I genuinely think it's in Orlando, it's easier to look at the camera and talk than it is to look at a person and talk half the time, I think.
Well, I know, I was going to say that might tie in quite nicely.
Yeah, so obviously, I don't know if you've seen, but I've got ADHD and autism, so I really struggle with the social interaction side of things and stuff like that. So for me, picking a camera up and talking to a camera is so much easier than talking to a person. Which doesn't, it's weird how it works. In the airport over here, like when we vlogged, like in Manchester airport was terrifying. Like that side of it was terrifying. But once we were over there, it was just like, this is normal. Everyone does it, you know what I mean?
Because no one bats an eyelid. You know, that's the one thing. And I think it's very, I think first and foremost, you have to, anyone who does this and puts themselves out there and is walking around filming themselves, regardless of where you are, I think it's a very brave thing to do.
Yeah.
But it is vastly different in the UK compared to when you're over in America. I mean, you'll probably be able to agree, Ross. It's just mental. But I think that is reflected in our vlogs as well, because you can see that we're quite quiet, quite reserved when we're over here. And then when you get over there, like everyone's just like, the camera's out, no one cares. But it's very scary.
The thing I always notice with people is that over here, the camera starts like quite low.
Yeah,
it gets higher and higher, doesn't it?
but overall, I think it wasn't too bad. I think we've been seeing, obviously, like especially the series we're doing now was our first series, but the second one, you know, we'll only kind of grow in confidence. You can see day by day, like how much we grow in confidence as well. You know what I mean? So it wasn't too bad overall, I don't think.
Overall, it's not. Like you say, the further we got into the trip, you can see our confidence has grown, and it starts to get more second nature. But like I say, for me, I was extra scared to first do it. I don't know if you'll have seen, or if anybody who's listening who might have watched, he was taking the mick out of me about how many times I said because when you're watching something back, you don't realise how much you say stupid stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, for God's sake, you've literally clipped out, I think, 40 minutes of me going, and I was like, oh, is that how I talk? Like, it's mortifying, so embarrassing. But it's been a proper laugh, and like Jake's saying, we'll only just get better from here on out. Hopefully. Anyway.
100%. Yeah. Well, you smashed it so far. So
Thank you.
Like, honestly, killing it. And I suppose to get into Orlando a little bit. When was the first time that you actually went to Orlando together?
2019.
Yes.
Was the first time we went together. So we went.
Pre-COVID. Is that pre-COVID?
Yeah.
Yes, it was literally the year before it happened.
So when we met, I was badgering on saying we need to go. And Beth was constantly like, it's not my idea of a holiday. Like, I want sun. I want a beach. I want to sit and drink and do nothing else.
I want to just lie in a sunbed and read a book with a cocktail in my hand. That's my idea of a holiday. So when Jake was asking, I'm saying asking, as if like I was keeping.
Begging.
When he was wanting to go, and he was saying, like, look, can we go? I've obviously been so many times before. I would just shut him down completely. Like, absolutely not. That's my idea of hell on earth. I know it's supposed to be the most magical place, but it's hell to me. And it took years and years and years of convincing.
Yeah, and then we went, May 2019 was the first time we went together. 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks.
It was.
We did, yet again, no Disney, Universal, Islands, SeaWorld, Busch Gardens, and Volcano Bay.
Nice.
I mean, it was a really good trip, wasn't it?
Well, I got the bug, put it that way.
Yeah.
From the minute we landed and I stepped foot out that airport, I just kind of was like, I don't want to go anywhere else. Like, it's amazing. Like, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what the draw is necessarily.
Everything.
But it's just the minute you get out in the airport, when the heat hits you, the smell. I remember always saying to Jake, so what does it smell like? What does Florida smell like? And he's like, oh, what do you mean? And I'm like, it'll have a smell, surely. Like, but it's just something that you just can't describe, and you just know you're there. Like, it's just mint. So that was definitely the first kind of pull from me, because it was just mint. You just turn into like a big kid, no matter where you go. Like, I mean, you'll have a very different experience because Jake's obviously been a quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been a few more times. So
yeah, when was your first trip, Jake?
I want to say it was maybe 2004, 2005.
Nice.
It was the first time I went with my grandparents, and I remember they always said, like, when they were leaving, I was like saying, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home. Yeah. And then since then, I think I went almost every year, once or twice a year. So I think in total it'll be, I don't know exactly, but it'll 15, 20 plus times I've been now. Right. And it's, I always say, like, I haven't scratched the surface. Like,
literally.
I haven't done anything really, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely. Like, you think that because you've been so many times that a lot of people, especially in work, for example, they'll say to us, like, oh, you're going back to Florida. I'm like, yes, we're going back to Florida. Like,
they don't get it.
You can't get everything done, no matter how long you go for in that place. There's always something that you can see again, something that you've missed out. Like, say, Jake's been so many times before. We've been 4 times together now.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were looking back through some of our vlogs, and I was like, what is that? Like, I've never seen that. I was like, we need to go back to that specific place so I can go down this little alley and go and see that, because we just didn't even notice it. There's too much to take in, isn't there, when you're there?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. What was it that kind of, like, for both of you, I appreciate it at different times, but what do you reckon was the first thing that kind of made you fall in love with Orlando, do you reckon? Was there anything in particular that kind of, like, sticks out to you?
Like, for me, the one thing that sticks in my mind, because we'd actually went with our family for the first time. My mum and my stepdad came on the flight with us, and Jake's parents were already out there. So I remember going meeting Jake's parents when we got off the flight, and we went into this bar. I don't know if people know where it is, but it used to be called Game Changers, and it's right next to the Roslyn International, unfortunately shut down now. And they brought a bucket of beer out, and it was like in them aluminium bottles. And I was like, if this is what America's about, I'm here for it. Like, this is mint. And then we had like this massive plate of chips with like cheese sauce and bacon on, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm in heaven. Like, this is just pure heaven. And it was like the way that the bar was, like just hearing everyone and everything. But whereas before, for me, I'd only ever heard Americans on the telly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So just we were there and hearing people talk and drinking beer out of an aluminium bottle and having the most unhealthy food ever. It was just unbelievable. And I think that for me, I was like, oh, this is just class. And then obviously naturally it just went for me.
Yeah. I think for me, I was really young, obviously, the first time. But I think for me, it's just how lost you become when you're over there. Like, no matter what happens when you're over here, as soon as you get over there, nothing matters at all. You know what I mean? So I think that's the thing for me. It's just kind of forgetting all your issues and problems and just kind of getting lost in the world. Whether it's Disney, Universal, doesn't matter. You're just kind of lost completely, aren't you? So
I think to be honest with you, that's why a lot of us, I mean, it's probably why all of us as adults love it so much. It's that escapism, isn't it? It's work, house, mortgage, rent, whatever. I don't care.
No.
Like, the moment I step off that plane, I couldn't care less.
No, you don't. And it's mad. I always say when we go, because like I say, we've only done the Universal side of it, we haven't done Disney yet. But when you walk through them gates at Universal, you just I turn into a big kid. Like, I would like to think, in my normal kind of day-to-day life, like, I don't know if you're just walking down the street or you go into the shops, I'm pretty reserved, I would have said. Obviously, until you're with your friends and your family. But like, when I get through them gates, I do not care. I will have no shame of screaming and whooping and clapping my hands and waving at characters and parades. And like, normally I'd be like, what on earth are you doing, Beth? But you just don't care. Like, it's such a freeing feeling. Oh yeah,
it's brilliant. Unbelievable.
So it's just mint.
Yeah, it's the best. I love it. Where do you usually stay? Said you've been together four times.
Yeah.
Now. Where do you typically stay when you go out there?
Same place every time. And it's I like I said, the whole time I've been as well, I've never stopped anywhere different, and it always is the Rosin Inn National.
Yeah, nice.
Reason being is, I think in our eyes, we do it like we look for this trip at like on site at Disney and stuff like that. And I think for us, we would rather go more often and sacrifice the hotel. But it's at the point now where we've been to that hotel like 4 times together. I've been loads. We know a lot of the staff. We're friends with a lot of the staff now. So it just makes it a lot nicer when you're over there as well. Yeah. And the hotels do get quite a bad rep sometimes.
I say this is what we'd mentioned in our blog, but I think they do. Do they not?
I think they do.
I think it's because they just look a little bit run down. They could do with a really good split up, but I think value for money wise, like the staff are mint, like everything's lovely and clean. And I think for the amount of time that you're in the room, like unless you're going on like a beachy kind of holiday, like I just think it doesn't really matter. And I get that obviously you get perks with staying on site and either kinds of resorts and stuff. But for us, we just don't.
It doesn't marry up for us.
We're not bothered. We'd sleep in a cardboard box if it means that we're over there. We're not bothered.
I'll sleep in the streets, mate. I'm not really bothered.
I feel you, to be fair. Like, the other thing with Rosin Inn International is that, like, location-wise, it's decent. Like, especially if you've been going to Universal, absolutely spot on.
I know, like, we like a walk. So we often will walk down, like if we have like a big breakfast on a morning, or we'll go and grab like a coffee and we'll have like a walk down, walk it off before we get to the park. So it's like lovely, isn't it? And like I say, that it's just the proximity to the parks is mint. The value for money is excellent. But we do often stay at one of the premium.
We do one of the
premium Universal hotels. So we get the fast passes.
Nice.
So we usually do the Hard Rock.
Yeah.
But the price of it now is just
astronomical,
crazy.
Yeah, they've caught on, and they realised that everyone's doing it for a night, and
100%. And like I say, we used to stay at the Hard Rock quite often because of the express passes that you get. Because obviously you stay one night, you get 2 passes, 2 days worth of passes, etc., etc. And I think recently we priced it up, especially over horror nights. And I think they wanted something ridiculous, like £1,000 a night. And I was like, that's another holiday to Florida.
Like, that's like 7 nights at Rosen Inn or something.
But
That was with annual pass discount as well.
aye.
Yeah, that's ludicrous, isn't it?
Crazy.
Like,
So
but yeah, not cool, not cool. But at the end of the day, like I said, like location wise for Rosen International is decent. Is there any kind of stuff that you like to do outside of the parks as well as just being kind of in university?
we really enjoy Top Golf.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Top Golf is so much fun. Like
I mean, I'm absolutely crap at it, but I'll give it a good go. And I really enjoy it.
I just like to take my frustration out, mate. I don't even play the games. I just hit the ball as hard as I can get it and try and get it over the net. And I'm like, hopefully one day it'll happen.
Yeah.
But I think we like to go to like over on holiday, especially. We're not. I wouldn't say we're big consumers of alcohol, but we like to kind of pop into some bars and stuff like that when we're over there.
You're on holiday, aren't you? Like
have a beverage, yeah, why not?
we had started to go to Tin Roof
in Icon Park. That's kind of the only place we spend time, like outside of the hotel
and the parks. But again, we've made friends with some of the staff in there, and it's lovely to just go and see them and have a catch up as well. But to have live music on, which is always fantastic. But good music, bad music, I'm into it all. So I would quite happily just go and just sit and listen. So we enjoy going up to Icon Park on the night because there's some really good food places around there. Great places like to have a drink if that's what you're into. But there is a comedy club that we've noticed, isn't there, that we said we might go to next time? Up
near past Icon Park at is it Point? You know where I think it's called Point, up near the Wonderworks house and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a comedy club there. And we said we might try that as well. I like I'm not going to get up and tell jokes. Well, I might actually. I could probably write some material.
Get a couple more extra beers down here.
I'm flying. But yeah, we said we might try that as well. But apart from that usual stuff, outlets, love a good shop.
Walmart,
Walmart,
just your standard stuff, really.
Yeah,
love it, absolutely love it. I suppose to get into your recent trip then. Let's go for it. When was the trip? Obviously, I know, but like for anyone listening, when did you go?
We flew out on the 5th of May.
We did. I couldn't remember then. We travelled down to Manchester. We always fly from Manchester because we find that a bit cheaper for us. Although the Newcastle airport's around about half an hour away from us, but the price is crazy.
Yeah.
We travel from for us it is, or at least I think it is.
Yeah, no, I think it is.
So we always travel down to Manchester the night before, and we always stay in the Britannia Airport Hotel. That's another hotel. It looks like The Shining. It really honestly does. But staff are mint, beer's cheap, rooms are comfortable, 5 minutes from the airport, and it's cheap as chips. So there's a theme in this, isn't there? We should just scrimp on everything just to get over there.
Get me there more often. I'm here for it, 100%.
So we'd obviously gone down on the 4th, due to fly out on the 5th.
Yeah, well, that was the plan.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
So it went, as a lot of people might have seen, it went a bit skew-whiff, we'll call it.
Yeah.
And we didn't make it to Orlando on the 5th.
We didn't.
We ended up in Ireland.
We got partway over the Atlantic, and they came over the tannoy and announced that we were in engine failure.
Yeah, one of the engines failed, so we had to turn back. So
yeah, I mean, a couple of things. Number one, you never want to hear that.
Never.
Inevitably. Number two, you certainly don't want to hear it on the way to Orlando.
Definitely not, especially considering the night before we travelled down, I'd actually watched Titanic. And I was thinking, hey, God, like Titanic's in the Atlantic. And then I was just like, when you have that moment in your mind, you're like,
oh, my God.
Titanic is really bad crack.
So, yeah, we ended up diverting to
Shannon
in Ireland, yeah. And then it's kind of a blur from there. We spent the night in Ireland, and then we flew out the following day on the same plane. We said it had 2 engines this time.
Oh, okay. I bet that brings you confidence.
Yeah. It was absolutely, it was a bit like, okay, we've just had an engine failure, now we're going to fly out the same. I kept calling it a tin of beans. Yeah. I just thought, I've got no trust in this plane.
No.
But we got there.
I know. I don't think we mentioned that was with Aer Lingus as well.
Yeah.
But we did have a previous issue with Aer Lingus on our trip prior to that in the November. Same thing happened, except we were stuck in Florida, so it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, we got stuck in Florida for 3 extra days, so that could have been. I was okay with it happening that time.
Yeah, that's fine. No, but you did get there. In the end, you got there safe.
And you know what, Ross? We had an unbelievable time in Shannon. Like, I know it was quite stressful for like a lot of people, especially with the families. Like, I think we'd mentioned on the vlog, you know, I can't imagine what it was like for the families that were there with the children and stuff. Like, say we don't have children, so we just go on ourselves and having a blast. But it must have been devastating for them to start the holidays.
Yeah.
But we were just like, we're getting to see another part of the world. We're not that bothered. Are we alive? We were quite pleased about that.
Yeah. Rather pleased. Yeah, I would rather be alive.
Unbelievable. Like we absolutely loved Shannon.
Yeah, it was. We've said for ages we want to go to Ireland, and then kind of when we got diverted, I was like, well, you know,
careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you were 100%. Amazing. Well,
getting there,
at least you know you got there. And then, how long was your actual trip for then?
So this trip was only meant to be a week.
Yes.
Turned into 6 days. So yeah, we only did just a short trip. This was just kind of more to, I think it was just we wanted to kind of go earlier in the year because we always planned on going later this year for a longer period of time. But we just thought if we can get it at a good price, we'll just go for a week. We've got our annual passes and stuff for Universal, so we booked it kind of not long after we came back in November.
Yeah, which is obviously something that I think we'll get on to a bit later down the line in terms of the blues.
Yes.
But we like to have a couple of trips kind of planned as and where we can. But for this one, we said, right, we've got a week spare, annual leave wise. Where do you want to go? Because we've done Orlando again before, for a week.
Yeah, we've done it for a week in 2019, and we thought back
end of 2019.
We always said going for a week seems a bit funny, like long way to fly, obviously driving down to Manchester, flying. But when we did it in 2019, we were like, this is unbelievable. Why don't people do this all the time?
I aspire to be like a Brit Travels and we go over for 3 nights.
Oh yeah, Lee loves it.
He loves it, doesn't he?
He'll go over for 20 minutes if he could. Like,
you have to go to the travel day, and that's it.
He just loves it. He would just fly over Florida if he could, and then come back. But I was just a week trip, but 6 days ultimately.
Yeah,
nice.
And it was cheaper for us to go over there for a week than it did to go to Tenerife.
Yeah.
So we were like, no brainer, we're going.
Yeah, absolutely no brainer. Yeah, completely agree. And obviously the Rosen Inn International.
Yep.
Yes.
Which parts did you do? Was it Universal, IOA, and a certain other one?
Yeah, yeah. So we did Universal, Islands, and then Epic Universe. We already had the trip booked and stuff before the preview dates got announced, but we kept saying, oh, imagine if like they did preview dates when we were over there, that would be unbelievable. And then obviously we did. So we just did those 3, didn't we?
Yeah. I felt like the luckiest people in the entire world when we managed to get the tickets.
Yeah,
love that. We'll get into Epic in a second, but was there any activity outside of the parks that you got up to on this trip, or was because you were there 6 days, was it very much like we're going to do the parks? Bit in kind of thing.
That was pretty much it. I mean, like I say, we did have Top Golf booked, but unfortunately that was on the day that was then our second travel day, so we had to cancel that. We didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
And then it was just your standard, we're hammering the parks because we're only here for a short amount of time, but we did our normal shops.
Yeah, we went to the outlets, Walmart, same sort of stuff. I just love the shopping over there. Like, I said it in the most recent vlog, but like, I love spending money over there. There's something about it. I can go to the outlets and spend like £1,000. It's like feel like it's nothing.
This when you're on holiday, like it holds no value. You're just like, nah, it's all right. You're going to spend what, £25 on a beer? Of course I am. I'll have 2. Do you know what I mean? Over here, if you're having a beer and it's a £5, like, I'm not paying that. Like,
it's that water. Like, no, I know what you mean. I got it. But like, genuinely, it's something about it. It's just going over there and it's going back to that thing we said a minute ago. You just kind of forget. Or you go away and you go, you know what? I'm going to buy it because why not? I'm here. I'm on holiday. So.
On the most recent vlog, I spent $60 on underpants. Like, I would never like if someone knocked on the door tonight and said, "Do you want to buy these underpants for 60 quid?" I'd be like, "Not a chance."
Where to go, would you?
No, 100%. But there, I was like, "I'm not bothered. Give us all them."
Yeah. Oh, amazing. And how you touched on it a second ago, but how's the Disney Blues one? Disney Blues, but how's the Orlando Blues kind of hit you?
So, like I say, for us, we're very, very lucky in the respect of that. We like to have a couple of trips stacked. So for me, that's the only way that I can get over it. Like, other than that, I will be crippled with it. And I did hear before when people were saying, oh, Disney blues or Florida blues. I thought, get a grip. Like, I really honestly did. What are you even talking about? And then it hit after the first time we ever went. I went, I can't cope with this. It is the most depressing, horrendous, like gut-wrenching feeling. So that's how we ended up booking again. I said, there's only one way to get over it. I remember putting on It's Orlando time and saying, how do you get over these blues? Like, what do you do? What the doctors? Like, what do you do? Like, no, you literally just have to book to go again. And I was like, okay. Like, so then we booked to go again. Every time.
You know what I think has helped as well is editing the vlogs.
Oh yeah, because you're looking back and you're having a
like we like every time we do an edit and stuff and everything's all done, we'll sit and watch it through, and then it's just like I can't remember that happening. Like it's just unbelievable revisiting it like straight away. It makes it a lot easier, doesn't it?
Massively.
But apart from that, you've just got to book another one, haven't you? You've just got to always have one in your back pocket, haven't you?
100%. And I suppose just to go back to Epic Universe quickly. Obviously, you said that you went to Epic on this trip.
Yes.
You managed to get a preview date. Obviously, because I'm thinking, because I went the week after you. I think I might have travelled the day you travelled back.
Yeah.
And I know that for quite a while, the preview dates were announced, and like it just missed basically when you were going and when I was going.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it's so typical, it. And then they obviously extended it.
Yeah.
So obviously you got to go. What was first impression of the park? Like obviously just going up to it, seeing it for the first time.
Well,
incredible.
I think it was special anyway because I managed to get tickets we went on Beth's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we went on May the 7th, which was your birthday, and just seeing initially seeing the park was just something else, wasn't it?
It was out of this world. There's regardless of anybody's experience in that park, there's no denying it is visually out of this world.
It's crazy.
It's just incredible. Like it's one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen. Like when you physically walk through the Kronos and you just see it seems so vast. It's just took my breath away. Yeah, completely. Same. I mean, I burst into tears, I think.
Yeah, she burst into tears on the vlog and started crying. Like it was one of those. It was just unbelievable seeing, wasn't it?
Oh, especially when you followed it.
Yeah, when you've seen it be built and stuff like that, and then you're there, you're just like, this is crazy. Like,
yeah, so we felt very unbelievably lucky, didn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
It was a fantastic way to spend your birthday.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously it was in preview, so like the next question I'll prelude it with that. Was there anything you didn't manage to get?
Everything. I'm only joking. Put it this way, we only got 3 rides done.
Yeah, we only managed to do 3 rides, and it's one of those things. It's in, like you've just said, it's in previews. It happens. We had an off day, but that's kind of regardless. It doesn't really matter. We still got to ride some things, like we said as well before we went. Even if you could go and just walk around the park,
100%.
You could.
You know what I mean?
Although you might boil alive.
Yeah, you might boil alive when you're there.
It's only a hot park. What 3 rides did you manage to get on?
So first ride we did was Curse of the Werewolf.
Yes.
Which we walked into Dark Universe, and then the queue for monsters was just crazy. So we thought we'll jump on Curse the Werewolf, and then hopefully that'll die down. Curse the Werewolf, which we both really enjoyed.
I enjoyed it.
I've heard a lot of people badmouth it, but I really enjoyed it, mate. I did really enjoy it. It could be longer, but it's a good ride.
It's a short ride. I thought the concept of it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought the facade and the kind of design of it, like the theming of it rather, was mint.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought it was class, and I thought it was a good ride. Like I just enjoyed it. Yeah. Like I remember coming off and thinking, why are people complaining about this? Like I don't know kind of what people expected from it as such. And maybe it's because it was so short. But at the end of the day, there's other big rides in that park.
Yeah, it's still a really good ride. You could put that ride in another park and it would be it would be a really good ride, you know what I mean? And then after that was Monsters, which was just unbelievable.
Yeah, incredible.
Crazy, like just a crazy ride.
We will not see anything to that caliber, I personally don't think, for a very, very long time.
Yeah, ride-wise, it just blew my mind. And then the third one was Constellation Carousel.
Nice. That wasn't what I thought you were going to say. Of all of the options, that probably wasn't it.
That's crap. Right.
It's all right. I just think,
We got a proper banger of a car though.
yeah, I think they were like, oh, you can get on, like, both of you can get on one, or you can get one indivially. And I was like, oh, we'll get on one together. And I don't think the ones together are meant to hold two adults, because everyone's going up in the air and we're just like
skidding along the floor.
skidding along the floor. And I was like, oh, this isn't meant to happen. But yeah, it was still enjoyable.
It's funny as out.
Yeah, but I suppose, unfortunately, obviously, there was a lot of stuff not open.
Yeah.
Stuff was going down, obviously. Did you manage to go around all of the portals, go and have a little look at everything? Kind of.
We did, yeah. Like, and I thought it was mint. So, like I say, we went to Monsters first. I was astounded by everything. Dark Universe.
Yeah.
We went into Dark Universe first, and I was just astounded by it. Like the vibe in the place, just the way that it was all put together and all built. It was absolutely fantastic. So then, from there, we walked over to Isle of Burke. I think I was a little underwhelmed by Isle of Burke.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's because
Controversial.
I know it's, and I don't need to be controversial. I really don't. But I think it's because Monsters was just. I keep calling it Monsters. Why am I calling it Monsters for? Dark Universe, man. Dark Universe was everything I wished for and more. And I think it was a case of that. I'd just peaked at that point, and I felt like anything else was never going to top that for me. So maybe I felt like that. Maybe if I'd gone in there first and then gone into Dark Universe after, I might have felt a little bit different. But I just thought it was very big for what was in it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I feel like with Isle of Burke, a lot of it was taken up by obviously the middle, the big water in the middle and stuff. So, but it was still a really cool, like.
I'm saying I'm underwhelmed. It was incredible. Like,
Like you put that in any park, amazing.
But it's a case of that coming straight off the back of Dark Universe. I was a bit this is nice and it's incredible, but it's not as good.
I'll tell you one thing, and this doesn't help because you didn't go. So I don't want to rub it in. If you the next time you go, if you go on Hiccup's Wing Gliders, you will that ride was the one that surprised me the most out of the entire park.
A lot of people are saying that, aren't they?
I think it's quite Hagrid's-esque. I think that's what
I went on it thinking it was going to be Flight of the Hippogriff.
Yeah.
And it was closer to Hagrid.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because you see bits of it as you go into Burke itself.
Yeah.
It looks all right, and there's a bit going over the water and stuff. And then you go on it, and there's a lot more.
Yeah.
So,
but we didn't even. I don't even think we saw it run. Didn't we not?
Yeah, no. I think it was delayed when we first got into Isle of Burke, and then when it came up, it was like 160, 180 minutes, and it was blaring sun, and I think we were just like, I can't wait.
We wait to be completely honest. And when we were in Isle of Burke, I think there was some kind of media event on.
Yeah.
So do you know, as you kind of bear around and you go where the Toothless meet and greet is, that was plagued with people, wasn't it?
There was big cameras and everything like that.
But there was cameras and kind of sets and the big kind of carts with all the wheels on that people transport and stuff. There was that, and it was literally blocking off the full thing. So even if you were kind of wanting to stand back and you weren't wanting to queue, you would potentially have normally been able to see kind of what's going on. You couldn't you not? No. It just took up so much of that. So maybe that's a bit why I was like, I just don't feel like there's enough for us to see. And because the park was so busy when we were there, and this was in previews, anything that you kind of would go and normally see or photo opportunities, you couldn't even see anything.
Yeah, you couldn't move.
No, which is a shame.
But there you go. It is what it is. Did you manage to do any food or drinks in the park?
We did.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did some in Dark Universe. We did the garlic steak. Was it garlic steak in Dark Universe? And then we had two drinks as well, both from the Burn and Blade Tavern.
Yes.
And then from there we had one of the mac and cheese cones from Grog and Gruel in Isle of Burke. They were tasty, weren't they?
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
I do think they were expensive for what you got.
I disagree. I don't think it was a bad price.
But that's just me being tight.
I mean, to be fair, I thought it was all right. I did. I think price-wise, compared to either Butterbeer Crepe, compared to that, like 22 or whatever that was.
I didn't think it was a bad price. I mean, it was what, $17.99? She
thought that, for the PB&J one.
I think with ours though, we got a proper stingy portion.
Yeah.
Didn't we? It's like,
must have
we
looked
were
at
looking
us.
at someone else's and we were like, have they got like 2 portions, or have we just got a really small one?
Yeah.
Like, so I know a lot of people were saying, oh, they're quite big. We put that in quick.
I could do 4 of them in easy, just one after the other. Easy.
But
Yeah. Maybe you just got shafted that day, let's be honest.
I know, I think we did.
It was one of them. It was one of those days.
Everything was going
I think
wrong
that's kind of what
every turn.
we said after. Like, it was one of those things where it could happen to anyone. It could also happen in any park. Like, regardless of it being a new park or anything, you could go to IOA, you could go to Studios, you could go to Epcot, anywhere, and you could have a day like that. It happens, but it was unfortunate it happened to us.
Indeed. And I suppose just to head back to your trip, was there any other highlights from the entire trip? Anything in particular that kind of like stood out to you as a highlight?
Apart from almost dying on the plane.
Apart from the wanting to be in one country and getting diverted to another.
Yeah. Apart from that, no, it was just kind of we went a bit nuts on the parks, didn't we? That was kind of the main thing. We literally woke up and just went straight to the parks every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of the main
one thing that a highlight of the trip for me was I got to experience Florida rain for the first time. Like
the first time,
nice. It was absolutely brilliant. Like I'd seen it on vlogs, and I thought it was dead funny when people would like run away from it. But like from the northeast, and although it looks pretty sunny here now, this is not very often that it happens. Like, so we're used to the rain, and when I saw it, I was like, this is just the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like how quick it comes down.
Everyone was running away, putting the ponchos on, and we were just like walking
get a
through.
photo. I want to be a photo in the rain. I want to send it to me mum. So it was mint. I loved it. And then we heard the thunder.
Yeah.
This is where I'm saying, you know, when I said before, we're pretty boring. Like, what's your highlight? I heard thunder.
This is cool though. This is like, but that's also that is Florida. So like, just loving Florida for what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's class. I do think I can understand how it can annoy people.
What, the rain?
The rain, because it can, obviously everything's shut, doesn't it? But we just were like, right, okay, it's due to rain shortly. Let's quickly go and take cover with a drink and just watch it.
Yeah.
Like, so that was a massive highlight for me.
Yeah, love it. Nice. And we touched on it a little bit earlier, but the way to get over the Orlando Blues is to have another trip booked, isn't it?
Definitely.
So I believe that you have another one lined up. When is it? Yeah, when is it you're heading back, Rob?
We are going
the 7th of October.
Nice.
That's 7th, I don't know. I can't remember.
We go down to Manchester on the 6th, fly out on the 7th, and we're going for 16 nights.
Yes, we are.
Oh, longer trip. Nice.
Yeah. This is the longest trip we've done as well. We booked a 3-week one before, but that got cancelled because of COVID.
Yeah.
We've done 2 weeks, so we thought we'll just edge it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nice. Where you staying? Go Roseland again?
Yes, we are.
Go. Nice. We have a night booked at Royal Pacific.
Which we're excited to try for the first time.
Yeah,
we've never stopped at that one.
We've never done Royal Pacific before, but I put it out on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and everyone had nothing but good stuff to say about it. And
have you stayed there, Russ?
I haven't. No, I've heard really good stuff. So
yeah, it looks lovely.
And for again, when I mean, everyone does it. Everyone stops at those hotels for the express. When I priced it up, it was a no-brainer. Like, we could have gotten 4 nights in Royal Pacific for the same price as 1 night in the Hard Rock. So I just said, no more Hard Rock this trip anyway. We're stopping there, and we might, I don't know yet, we might stop at some Disney hotel for a night or 2. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Is there going to be a bit of Disney on this trip as well, though?
There is.
Yes, there is. So it's going to be Bethany's first time ever doing a Disney park, which is I'm more excited than you, I think.
I think so. I think he's more excited to see my reaction to the Disney parks.
Yeah. I've done it, but I haven't done it in like maybe 15 years. So it's been a long time. Like last time I done it, there was no like Galaxy's Edge. There was none of that. So no Guardians or anything. No. So it feels like I'm going for the first time as well.
Yeah, you're both gonna love it. I mean, I'm certain. I am certain. Like, I appreciate, even if you're not like full Disney people as well, I think you just can't help but just.
You know what's crazy as well, though? We are.
Yeah.
Like,
It's amazing, isn't that?
Like, you love Disney movies, but we've just never had that, like, kind of. I think we've always been drawn so much to Universal that we've never thought, okay, we'll add that on, kind of thing.
I do think that's very much because, like you say, we don't have a family, so it's as much as we love Disney, like it's very kid orientated as well, isn't it? So it's like, I think if we did have children, I think we would have definitely have gone way before now.
Yeah.
But I think for us, there's obviously things to factor in, such as price, people, crowds and crowds of people, you know, and things like that. So it was on our trip in November when we went to Disney Springs for the first time. Said, oh, we might as well just go and try and fill a night in. And we went at the World of Disney shop. And although you probably won't believe it, I'm actually not very an emotional person, am I?
No, usually not.
Until I'm in Florida and I'm crying all the time, clearly. But I burst into tears when we went into the Disney shop, didn't we? And he just went, pick yourself a pair of ears because we're going. We're going next time. So we just, that was kind of what we decided.
I think it'll be unbelievable. It'll be unbelievable.
Very excited.
Very excited for you. Are you going to be doing Epic Universe again on this October trip?
So I don't know, but however, when we watched How to Train Your Dragon today and heard the music, I thought that's kind of tempting us a bit more.
Yeah.
But you know what it is? In all honesty, I think for us, it's like the day we had in previews. I think I am so worried we'll have a day like that again when it's full capacity and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's you kind of don't want to throw yourself in there just to be disappointed, but never say never.
Well, that's it. We were initially planning to do that. It was on the itinerary. Then, obviously, because of our experience, we were like, get that off the itinerary right now. But the more that the dust settled, I think I said a couple of weeks ago, I was like, should we go back and just try it one more time? Should we? And he was like, nope, no, we're not doing it. And I was like, fair enough. And then today he's been like, should we go and try it one more time? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. So
I don't want to, like, I'm an advocate for spending your money. So, like, but
I
get it. I totally get it. Like, obviously, you know, if you've gone to any park and managed to get on 3 rides, there is no value.
No, there's
no experience in that. There's no fun in that. Like, that, quite honestly, is a rubbish thing. Like, there's no.
No.
The odds of that happening again, I think, have got to be so low, haven't they?
They've got to be very, very low.
It seems to be a common theme of our life.
I don't want to say it can't happen, because if it does happen, I'm going to feel awful that I'm like trying to convince you.
Like, we're bringing you, Ross, man. You said it wasn't going to happen. It's
you promised us.
We've got on the carousel, and that is it. Like,
we got on the carousel that didn't even go this time.
But I think we. I mean, one thing I do have to say as well, to put it out there, Universal, like, they handled themselves unbelievably.
Exceptional.
With obviously, I went back to them, like everyone said, go back to them and say you've had a bad, and they handled like so good. It was sorted straight away.
Yeah.
So that kind of has tempted us to kind of.
Yeah,
also...
I mean, that's one thing I don't think you can knock it for. And obviously, I cannot speak on Disney because obviously I haven't got that experience. But Universal's guest service,
unbelievable,
fantastic. It's second to none from our experience.
Yeah.
I think they've been absolutely impeccable. And that is something like what Jake's saying that would definitely drive us to consider it again, at least.
Yeah, but we do also have this trip it's jam-packed.
Yeah.
Like with Disney Universal, we've got 2 nights at Horror Nights.
I was going to say, you beat me to it. That was the next thing. Like, surely there's the Halloween Horror Nights.
Absolutely.
We've got 2 nights there. We're going to get Express for 1 night.
Yeah.
And then we're doing Mickey's Not So Scary as well.
Nice.
Which we've obviously never done, but we thought for doing Disney, we might as well do it properly.
I need to see Oogie Boobs.
And as you can tell by
Beth, she's got
the full Nightmare Before Christmas sleeve, so we kind of have to do it. So it's jam-packed, and it's kind of trying to fit it in there as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, we shall see.
Probably be the case if that will wake up and just go, should we go to it today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just...
If it was right today, let's do it.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Pick a day where there's not too much rain or anything like that as well. Make sure weather's on your side, the whole lot. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Fingers
Excited for you. Obviously excited for more vlogs as well. So yeah, to head to the next little bit of the podcast is my fun little section to keep updating clothes. I went for a Universal Studios theme.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, 3 randomish rides. I don't know what your thoughts are on these rides, but I went for Jimmy Fallon, Transformers, and Men in Black. So, what are we thinking? I don't know if you like any of these. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You go first.
Well, we actually have different answers. I didn't think we would. I thought we would have had the same answers, but they are slightly different. So I went for keep Men in Black.
Yep.
Reason being, it was your first time doing it on that trip just gone.
Nice.
Because when we went in November last year, it was closed, and I think it's so fun.
It was absolutely class.
It's
Like
such a fun
I
ride.
didn't expect it to be like how it was. I hadn't actually watched any spoilers on it or anything.
No.
And I think it was just one of them rides that was just always in the corner, and I always just forgot about it. And I was like, yeah, not bothered about it. And I really, really enjoyed it.
And it's kind of what VillainCon wishes it was.
Yes.
Oh, literally, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely keep Men in Black. Update Transformers. A lot of the simulator rides make me feel very sick.
Okay.
But Transformers is one of those ones where I'm like, I can kind of do it. I'll feel a bit rough afterwards, but I don't mind. However, I do have to say, can we change the queue for Transformers, because those red flashing lights and that noise is just,
Oh my god!
like, especially if it's a long wait. Like when we went on last time, it said 10 minutes, and I was like, right, I can deal with it. We were in there for 40 minutes, and I just hear this.
It is one of the most repetitive queue lines. Like, and they've got those videos playing of the guy like shouting at the camera, and he's saying the same line over and over again, and it's like, oh. It's grating. It is grating.
But yeah, I think I would update that. I don't know. I think that would be the main update. Would be just update your queue, and then apart from that, we're okay. And then close Jimmy Fallon, because I used to enjoy it, but now there's just something like no disrespect, Universal. Who thought Jimmy Fallon was a good idea? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you wouldn't put, like, I don't know, Piers Morgan in a ride, would you? You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't happen. It's just like, I don't know. There's so many better things that could be there. It's a big building as well that they use.
To me, and it feels baffling. I know there are some people who love it, and I get it. Like, it's fun, but at the same time, it just feels like such a weird idea.
Yeah,
I don't know. But maybe it's just because I'm not American, so I don't get it in the same way.
I suppose in the US they love like the late night shows and stuff like that.
I think, like you said, like you certainly wouldn't have a Piers Morgan ride in Old Town.
Imagine Piers Morgan roller coaster be horrible.
But Mike, saying that though, right? I said pretty similar to you. I would have keep Men in Black. I would update Jimmy Fallon, and I would get rid of Transformers.
Should update for a Piers Morgan ride.
What's the update then? What are we doing to Jimmy Fallon?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I think I like these rides. Like, I like the big screens where you're sitting on the things. I think it's so fun. I just think maybe it's a little bit too rickety, and the actual screen itself, it just looks dull. So maybe it's like update the screens. I don't know. Or even, like I say, keep the ride itself, but just maybe change the theme in a bit.
Yeah.
Like, just something a little bit more fun. But I like that ride. I really do. I think it's nostalgic purposes for me. Like, when I went with my stepdad, like we've got a proper childish sense of humour, so we were crying laughing at it. So I think that's what it is. But with Transformers, I just don't rate it. Like, I think the queue takes it out of me, like massively. It just spoils it for us, because I just get on the ride and I think, get this out of here now. I've had enough. But then the ride, I think as well, I know I'm gonna sound ridiculous, but the ride's too loud. Like, I know this is proper boring crack, but it's like, it's just too loud. Like, turn it down a notch so I can, like, appreciate it.
Can't give myself feet to go around it. Like,
literally screaming in your ear.
Screaming at you for just no reason. Like, calm down.
Chill out. I know the world's going ending, but just relax.
Yeah, I'm trying to have a chill time here, guys. Oh, I love it. Nice.
And that's what I love. It's a small world.
It's a small world.
Like, this is the best ride ever.
Oh, a couple of good shouts, though. Love it. And leads me on to my final 5 questions then. I was going to say whole of Orlando. Obviously, Jake, you can go for it if you want to as well. If you want to get Disney from 15 years ago in there. But favourite ride in probably the whole of Universal?
So I think, you know what, I think the standard answer is going to always be Velocicoaster or Hagrid's. That's usually what. But I'll be honest. I think for me, it's always going to be Mummy.
Nice, that's a shout. Dude. Yeah.
It's one of the first rides I ever went on when I first ever went, and I always have PTSD from it because the first time I rode the ride, you know, when it comes to a stop.
Yeah.
When I was like 6, I went forward and I smashed my face off the seat in front, and it burst my nose. So every time I get on it, that's all I think about. But for some reason, that makes us enjoy it more. I don't know why. But yeah, I think that's definitely my favorite ride. It's better than Green. It's controversial.
I do agree with that statement. However, I think for me, if I think purely of Universal, I would say Velocicoaster, and I know that's the same ride as what a lot of people say. But then I'm thinking, like, if I think of other parks, like we were supposed to do Busch Gardens, but we didn't end up going because we couldn't be bothered with the travel there, through to Tampa. Yeah. And I was very excited to try the Iron Gwazi. So I feel like if I'd maybe done that, that might have tipped it. Or Stardust Races.
I thought you were going to say Falcon's Fury there.
Oh my God, no. Have you ever done Falcon's Fury?
I've done it once.
Never again.
It's horrible.
We were just saying, we thought you might have liked it because we know you love Doctor Doom.
Yeah, that I'll be honest with you, that's the one ride in Orlando that actually scares me a bit.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. Like,
it's disgustingly high. Like, it's so
like, it's unnecessary how much it needs to tip you. Like, why do you have to be upside down facing the ground like a million foot off the ground?
Yeah, it's just nuts. Yeah, no, not for me, that.
No. So yeah, I think I would say because I haven't experienced the other rides that I would have put in that category, I would have said Velocicoaster. Although I do trying to think how to put it diplomatically. I feel like I need to change my pants after I get off it.
You're good.
Very scary.
Yeah. Well, obviously after the next trip, it might change up a bit.
I know. I'm very excited to try some Disney rides.
Yeah. Try some other Disney rides. Try some other Epic Universe rides maybe as well. We'll see what happens.
What would you recommend doing in Disney? Like, as first timers, like, what would you physically say is the go-to?
I'm rides all day long. So like, I know a lot of people say like experiences in Disney and stuff. But like for me, like Guardians is an absolute no-brainer. Like you need to be doing that, like 100%. That's probably up. I would say Hollywood Studios, you've got to be doing Rise of Resistance.
Yeah.
Got to be doing Tower of Terror. Like those are an absolute priority. Like no questions asked. Magic Kingdom, Haunted Mansion is a must do. Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean. I'd say do Tron. Like those three for me are kind of like the big hitters for me. In that and then if you do Animal Kingdom as well, like Flight of Passage and Everest. Like, if you do all of those rides in all of those parks, you'll have a great time in every park.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. And then I mean, like food, drinks, like
there's too much to choose from, isn't there? There's just
So if you fill out all the rest of the day with all the other kind of fun stuff, like you're gonna have an amazing time. You really are.
I'm probably looking forward to it. I just, like we were saying before, it feels quite overwhelming though, doesn't it? Because there's so many parks and there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do first? Kind of, what's the priority? If we like it, we're inevitably going to be back. So then it's like, let's try not to hammer it all too much and worry about getting everything in. And let's just kind of say, but we're wanting to know people's top things to do. So then we can be like,
focus
maybe
on them.
Prioritize them. So.
Yeah. I'd pick a couple of rides, like I just said, pick like 2 rides in every park. Make sure those are the priority. I would probably I'd rope drop one of them.
Yeah.
Queue for the other one, and whatever time you get left for everything else, like, so it's a much more can't wait for you to experience it. I really can't.
It'll be mad. And like I say, we're going to vlog it, so I don't know how much content we'll have, because I can imagine we'll just be standing gawping.
Or crying, probably.
Or crying, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And just heading back to the favourite part. Obviously, let's be real, it's not Epic Universe. So between Studios and IOA, which is favourite part for you though?
IOA for me.
IOA for me.
Every day.
Definitely.
Studios needs an update. It needs a few things adding, and kind of Studios just a bit. I think for me, Studios, it's the vibe of the place is unbelievable.
Yes.
But in terms of rides in a park, IOA, and once they change Lost Continent and stuff like that, then if that becomes something like that, then
it needs to be Zelda. Like, it really, really does need to be Zelda. I will be very, very happy if it does. But I would say Iowa as well, purely because of the rides. I think for me, and I agree with what you were saying. It's very much a vibey place for Universal Studios.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm rides all day long. Like, and I love how many courses are in one park.
Yeah.
As well. So it definitely hits different for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And heading from favorite park to hidden gem. You got hidden gem, which could be a show, ride, anything in any of the parks.
I think one for us in studios, a lot of people might have had this, but the shepherd's pie jacket potato.
Okay.
If no one's had that, I mean, I wouldn't have it on like a day in May where it's 30 degrees because you probably will internally combust.
Yeah.
However, if anyone goes kind of and it's a colder day, the little stand outside of Diagon Alley near the night bus, it's to die for. That.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
To die for, and also a good one. If anyone wants some time away, the little seat near the water, behind the Duff Bar.
Yeah.
The seat down there, that's a nice place if you just want to relax and kind of take in some views. But not many people know it's there.
No, it's usually it's been quiet every single time we've been.
Yeah.
So let's just go for a bit of a decompress. Decompress? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Let's go chill. So it's nice down there. So that would actually probably tie on nicely with what I was going to say, because I'm saying it's a hidden gem, but mine would literally be that Duff Bar. Like it is probably up there with one of the best pints I've had in Orlando.
Yeah.
Very, very nice beer. So if anyone isn't a beer and
Duff Light,
I would definitely recommend there, and sitting down on that lake.
Yeah.
Recommend.
Love that. Chilled vibes to think about it. And that's the studios about a lot.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it's got that kind of vibe to it. Chilled park. Love it. Going from kind of like hidden gem to most overrated ride in Universal Studios. Have you got anything which is overrated for yourselves?
I do. E.T. Like, what's that all about? Like I don't get it. Like, and I love the E.T. film. Like, I think it's mint. But I tried it for the first time in November, and I went and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Like,
it's wild.
It smells so nice, and I'm like, it literally smells like the swimming baths. Like, that does not smell nice. It smells like chlorine, bleach, and people's feet. Like, it's just not.
People might like the smell of them,
but they might do, and that's mint for them, but not for me. Like, I just don't get it. I'm like, what is so good about that ride? But that's mine.
I'm gonna say, Forbidden Journey.
Yeah,
it knocked you west.
It does. It makes us feel like when I get off that ride, I feel like I am potentially my life's gonna end because I feel like I'm just gonna be sick everywhere.
I love it.
However, I do just think as a ride, it's just not the best.
Oh, I like it.
But I don't know if that's because I've been on Monsters, and Monsters is so good.
Yeah,
I mean that is one thing. Like, you take Forbidden Journey, which 10 years ago was brilliant technology, it was amazing. It hasn't aged that well because it makes everyone feel. You go and do Monsters and go, this is how it can be done. This is how you integrate live props and like kind of like animatronic and screens as well, and the story. That ticks every box, doesn't it? So,
yeah, it was like
Forbidden Journey. I've got to close my eyes the whole way through. I'm just sat there
holding on. Much fun for a ride, really, is it? Like,
I say to him all the time, like, "Oh, you just hang about here. I'll go in by myself." And he's like, "No," because he gets a fear of missing out. He gets brought a formal.
Yeah, well, I've still got to go on it, haven't I? Even though it makes us feel unwell, I'll close my eyes. It'll be all right.
I suppose you got to experience it.
Yeah, and however, I do have to say though, when you're going through the queue and stuff in Forbidden Journey, it is pretty cool.
Oh, it's class.
But there's just a ride, just.
Do you prefer the queue?
Yeah, I'll queue for the queue. I'm not queuing for the ride.
Yeah, fair enough. Good shout. Good shout. To be fair, just to circle back to ET, I bet I've got to back you a little bit because I've slammed ET a few times and I'll carry on. To be honest, there's a nostalgia thing. Like,
yes,
people who've been there for a long time, I get the nostalgia, and that's me included. But at the same time, the ride itself is nothing special. I'm sorry, everyone.
No, it's just
not.
It's really not. I mean, I did think getting on the bike was cool.
Yeah.
But so is getting on Hagrid's. Like, on the bike on Hagrid's. Like, I just think, like,
and
move it away, like, to make way for something.
Which is weird because they have done for everything else. They've closed like Jaws. They've closed
is it the
the old old King Kong ride, the Twister ride. They closed all these classics and then just left ET.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why? Just change it up a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, like, the first half of the ride is all right. It's quite calm and chilled. And then the second half, I don't know what happened. I don't know who wished it up. Like, whatever they were on, I guess everyone's on to it.
It's just like, wow, that person's mind.
And then you get to the end and he doesn't say your name.
Yeah.
I think he said my name and I was going to get off the bike and I was going to...
I was like, what did he just say? I was like, did he say something? Because I just didn't understand what this passport was, why people were asking for my name. And then I was on the ride and I was like, well, can I take this home? She was like, no, I need it. And I was like, well, why? I don't understand. I just didn't get it. And then he was like, oh, it's just said your name. I was like, who? Who said my name? I just didn't get it.
And then he didn't say my name and I was going to unstrap myself and punch him in the head.
I know, because then I was like, I don't think it says your name. And he was going, no, it does. I've been on it loads of times before. It does say your name. And I said, well, I just, no. Not come off thinking like, what a bizarre experience.
Yeah, it really is. Really is. And just to wrap up the podcast, final question then. Best thing to do outside of the theme parks, Hugo?
Go to Tin Roof at Icon Park and go on a Friday or a Saturday when Side Quest are on, because they are one of the best bands you will ever listen to.
Yeah?
They are unbelievable.
Sounds like a shout. I've never been there. So,
like, what's your meat for?
It's like, you know what's cool about it as well? It's in like a tourist area, but I think when we went, it was nothing but American people there.
Yeah.
So you get the proper vibe of like, it's like a proper American dive bar.
Yeah.
Where it's just all like country and people turn up with their like cowboy hats and the boots on and all this sort of stuff. And it's just unbelievable. And it is cheap as anything.
It's extra cheap. And the food is brilliant as well. So if you're obviously not into having a drink and you want to just go just for food, like the food's really, really good. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going there if that's something that you like. If you like live music, it's brilliant. We followed them on Instagram as well, and they've always got like an itinerary of obviously what's coming up. So they do karaoke as well.
So yeah, if anyone wants to sing,
so it's really, really good. I think
everyone together.
So I know.
No.
Yeah, good shout. That's all my questions. There was quite a few. We rattled through everything. Like,
sorry, I know we
talk a lot. Sorry,
you're good. Like, honestly, I love a chat, so you're absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. Like, I've enjoyed this so much. You've both been brilliant, and honestly, like I said, you both come across so genuine, and that's like what I'm sure so many people are picking up from your vlogs.
Oh,
you're two genuine people. You're like totally likable people, and like you've got a passion for enjoying these parks and Orlando as much as anyone else. So keep doing what you're doing. Honestly, smashing it.
Cheers,
thank you. That's really kind. And no, but honestly, like I know we said it at the beginning, but thank you so much for like asking us to come on and giving us the opportunity to be on here. It's like we've really enjoyed it.
It's been we'll definitely have to do a part 2 after we've done Disney. See if any answers change.
I'm here for it. Yeah, 100%. We'll see what other stuff you kind of like doing, enjoy doing. Obviously, we'll see it in the vlogs as well. So yeah, buzzing for it.
So this was the episode with Bethany and Jake from the Tattoed Tourists. What an episode and what a couple. This was so much fun to record, and genuinely just two of the most easy, down-to-earth people in this community. I love watching their vlogs. I love their content, and they were absolutely fantastic to chat with. So please do go and check them out on Instagram, on YouTube as well. I hope you all enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it, and I will speak to you all in the next one.